Greetings, this is Charles Darwin, and I'm here to tell you how I really came up with the theory of natural and the theory of sexual selection. Now I know what all the biographies say. They all say the same thing that I wrote in my autobiography for my grandchildren. But you realize I wrote that for their entertainment. And I put a joke in there, only turns out everybody took it seriously. I said that I thought of natural selection when one day I was reading Malthus for amusement. Nobody reads Malthus for amusement. I must have been joking, but you took me seriously. But today I'm going to set the record straight. I'm going to tell you how I thought of natural and sexual selection. I came up with the idea by playing backgammon with Emma. Here's a backgammon board. We would do this frequently of evenings. I remind you that I was ill, we didn't go out very much, and so this is what we frequently did in the evening, was to play backgammon. And this is a backgammon board, 2 players, one with white pieces, one with brown pieces, and the point is to get your pieces around to the slot on the opposite side. Okay. Now, what is there in a backgammon game that one can learn about selection? The first is that there is a random component, the roll of dice. I just happened to roll a 7, but I could have rolled just about anything. You have no control over the number that you get from rolling the dice. So there is a random element in the generation of the variation of opportunities that you have. The second point is that every population, whether it's of trees or of a certain kind of bug or something like that, or human beings, there is genetic variation in the population. And natural selection acts upon that variation. And in the case of me and Emma, it was random as far as what numbers came out on the dice. That was random. But then selection came along. Emma would apply her mind, and I would apply my mind to see what we could do with the random variation that we were given. That part of natural selection, the selection part, is not random. Don't let anyone tell you that evolution is random. Genetic variation and its origin via mutation and translocation, etc., may in fact be random, but selection is not random. The third thing that I learned from playing backgammon with Emma is about what we today call evolutionary fitness. It doesn't matter in a population of animals, for example, how big and strong you are. What really matters is your reproduction. That is what we mean by evolutionary fitness, and not even just reproduction, but successful reproduction. Not just the number of offspring you produce, but how many of those offspring live long enough to grow up and have their own offspring. That is to be not just a parent, but to be an ancestor. And in backgammon, the only thing that really counts is who gets their pieces into the slot first. It doesn't matter, anything that happens before that is really quite irrelevant to the outcome of the game. The fourth thing that you can learn from backgammon about selection is that you should not leave your pieces unprotected. So here is a brown piece that's left unprotected. Here's a white piece that's left unprotected. Now, unprotected pieces can be captured by your opponent, and then you have to take that piece back to the beginning. And that slows down your progress toward the goal of getting all your pieces into the slot. So I learned to not leave any unprotected pieces. Emma had this way of always finding them. I don't know how she did it. Well, this shows that in animal societies there has to be cooperation, reciprocal altruism, as it was called later, that the animals are able to cooperate with each other and to help each other to survive against their common threats and perils. That does not mean that the animals gave up their individual fitness for the good of other animals. What it does mean is that they all individually benefited. They all individually had greater fitness as a result of some kinds of cooperation. The fifth thing that I learned from Emma was about sexual selection. And when I read about sexual selection in 1871, most people who read the book believed what I had to say about males competing with each other. But when I said that females play a crucial role in sexual selection by exercising choice, I was not taken very seriously, but I knew from playing backgammon with Emma that she could be a real animal. Isn't that right, Emma?
It's an instinct I just can't resist.
Ah, yes, that is true. Yes, whether it was on the backgammon board or in the boudoir, Emma was a real force of nature. That's why we had so many children. So these are the 5 things that you can learn about natural selection and sexual selection from backgammon. This is Charles Darwin. Tally ho, and amen.